The only person I couldn't get to come was President Ahmed Tinubu. I hope you get to see this sometime. Well, we will still want you to be a part of us, recognize the architects in Nigeria. It's so important. I didn't do my exams, professional exams, till 7 years after my graduation. And even before my second child, my husband said, go and do your professional exams. I'm like, look, not now. I'm doing this. And I said, he said, no. You won't have a second child until you do your exams. I'm like, how is that a condition for having children?
Mobolaji Adeniyi is an architect, builder, and servant leader whose career is rooted in excellence, service, and nation building. She is the founding principal partner and CEO of Mobolaji Adeniyi and Associates, a multidisciplinary firm she established in 1995. With a portfolio spanning institutional, healthcare, retail, religious, and residential projects, her work stands as a testament to thoughtful design that responds to human needs.
So I was in a firm called A Consortium Architects Engineers, and I was a strong force there. I got into a partnership working with men, of course, the only female in the partnership.
As the 30th president and the second female president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Mobolaji is affectionately known as the Pearl President for her graceful yet resolute leadership style. Her Unite agenda champions inclusion, professional visibility, and equity across all membership levels.
Of course, most people were not taking me seriously. I was young, female, petite, and they just didn't see me as somebody they would trust their big projects to. Yeah. So it was very difficult at first. But I have this mantra that I got from the Word of God. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome architect Mobolaji Adeniyi, Pnia, Fnia, FCIPMN.
But the first time we did a virtual exam, even that, at first they resisted. We can't do it. I said, people are getting degrees online. Am I correct?
You're right.
So why can you not do an exam that gets you licensed online? So fighting that battle, we won. We were able to agree. We did that exam and we were able to register many architects. My only regret is after that, there was a bottleneck again and they did not allow me to do the other exam that I wanted to do during my tenure. But it doesn't matter. I'm still in the system. And guess what? That exam.
Ma, you're welcome to Architects Corner.
Thank you very much.
So, in today's conversation, we'd like to know who we have the honor and privilege of having on Architects Corner.
Thank you, Rose, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today. My name is Mobolaji Adeniyi. I'm an architect, the 30th president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. They call me the Pearl President. I handed over yesterday, so that makes me the immediate past president. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. You're welcome to Architects Corner. It's a great privilege to have you, to have the 30th president on Architects Corner and to have the Pearl President on Architects Corner. Ma, we would like to hear your story so that it inspires anyone out there, both young architects, even people that are not within the profession, and we want to start from the beginning. What was the first thing that drew you into architecture?
Rose, it's interesting. I just wrote a book. And the book is called Grace-Driven Leadership. And I want to advise all young people, all aspiring leaders, all women, all parents to read that book. It tells about my journey. It talks about how from a young girl, with my imaginative mind and explorative spirit, my father was able to guide me into a profession that just suited my personality. My father was a medical doctor, and I was his first child. But unusually for people of that generation, he didn't say, you must study medicine. He looked at me, he saw my skills. I was a poet, I was an artist, and I also did science. And he said, look, why don't you do architecture? And I was always drawing. I was always doing sketches of people. You sit with me in class, I would draw my teacher, I would draw my classmates.
Wow.
And he introduced me to one of his friends who's an architect. And then I was able to start getting interest in the profession. And so that's how it started. I had parents who recognized my talent, my skills, who did not also say because I was a girl child, put me down. They gave me confidence to do anything I wanted to do. So that's how I went into architecture school, and that's how I became an architect.
Thank you, Ma, for that brief introduction. So, we would like to ask, you said that is how you went into architecture school and that is how you became an architect. Let us know the in between. When you graduated, what did you really worry about? Is it getting work, getting licensed, or knowing what type of architect you wanted to be?
You know, when I qualified as an architect, it was in the days when there were few architects. And it's almost automatic, you kind of get a job where I served. What they were paying me in my service was more than what NYC was paying me. They gave me accommodation, and luckily I had a car. So, I mean, I started off very comfortable. Let me just tell you the truth.
Wow.
And after my youth service year was then, what next? And I thought, look, practice is it as a young architect. Let me see how I can get more skills, more experience to be able to face the practice world. So I joined a firm of Israeli architects. It was a partnership between Army, the architect, the Israeli architect, and Egbo. It was called Egbo Army. They're based in Ibadan. And I joined that firm of architects, and I started working with them. But at a point, you know, as a young girl, finished my master's, what's the next thing? Even if nobody's asking you, you also want to get married. And I felt, look, I needed to start thinking seriously about my marital life. I should get married. But the kind of work I was doing, I knew that it was not likely I would be able to get married so quickly. I was working, I think my hours were 7:30 to 6 p.m. every day, including Saturdays.
Wow.
And it was an Israeli firm. And trust me, you can't cut corners. So it was getting a little bit too hectic. And then I just met the young man that I eventually married. And I felt, look, okay, starting a family is next. If you're going to be married, if you're going to be able to build a home, you can't do this kind of practice. So prayerfully, I looked at it and I decided I would go into academics. So I started lecturing.
Oh, wow.
So I got a job at the Polytechnic in Ibadan. It was the only school of architecture then in Ibadan. And I started lecturing. Most of the lecturers there were foreigners there. And I was one of the first few Nigerian architects that was engaged as full-time architects in the place, lecturer. And so I started my career as a teacher, and I was there for 8 years.
Wow.
And so that's how my journey started. So for me, at that point, it was first family, settle home before thinking of your career.
Now, I would want us to talk about your career growth. At least you've thrown some light on that. How did you navigate the early years of your practice, especially in the field that is demanding and at times male dominated?
Again, you have to read my book
Obviously.
because it just talks about this, all the challenges a woman faces, a young woman. I was a young woman, and even then when I finished my 8-year stint at the Polytechnic, I think I was still in my 30s because I
Wow.
graduated very early.
Oh, wow.
And so the first thing to do was I decided to go into partnership with some male architects
Mm.
to be able to get into real practice. So I was in a firm called a Consortium Architects Engineers, and I was a strong force there. I got into a partnership working with men, of course, the only female in the partnership. But after a few years, it wasn't working,
Mm.
and there were differences, and I decided I would go on my own.
Mm.
I must tell you, it was a very bold step. At that time, in the whole of Ibadan where I lived, there was only one female with a vibrant practice,
Wow.
architect Mrs. Olumide. The other person wasn't really
Mm.
doing any serious practice. Others were either in the ministry or things like that. So it was something that was a bold step. So I went into the practice and I decided, look, I can do this.
Mm.
But of course, as I got into my own practice, I discovered it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Here was I, a very young woman, just 30 years. No, I was 35 when I started my practice because I had my last child when I was 35. She was a baby
Mm.
and I had just started a practice. How was I going to cope? Well, I took the bull by the horns, got an office, employed one or two staff.
Mm.
Since I was a lecturer at the Polytechnic, got one of my old students who had qualified to work with me, and I started the practice. Of course, most people were not taking me seriously. I was young, female, petite, and they just didn't see me as somebody they would trust their big projects to.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult at first. So, but I have this mantra that I got from the Word of God. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. Okay, if I can't get commissions, what can I do? I started thinking about interior design. So I started going into interior design. Maybe not at the scale that interior designers are doing it now, but I started doing it, doing furnishing, doing curtains, doing furniture, putting spaces together. And with that, people started recognizing me. And then some clients saw, oh, they liked it. And then I said, I'm an architect. And that's how I started getting some small jobs. And from there, the profile, yes, kept rising. And to the glory of God, I was able to get more jobs.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that insight. You've talked about your school days, your graduation, and now I want to get into the presidential. Before becoming the NIA president, what personal principles guided how you led teams or made career decisions, even before you got to that stage, at least from the young?
Okay, I've always been somebody that likes to work with teams because I believe there's so much talent in others, and that a leader must be able to identify talent and use them to be able to achieve your goals. But it does not mean a leader will not be able to take the direction and the lead. And so I've always been that kind of leader. I have a focus, I have a goal. Then I look for people who can help me to achieve that goal.
Oh.
And in looking for people to help me to achieve that goal, I'm also the kind of person that doesn't write off anybody because I believe everybody has something in them that can be used. And that is why many times, even with my team, there are weaknesses in many of the people I work with. But I believe that that small strength you have can still be used to cover up that weakness. And I believe working as a team, it should be one for all and all for one. Because you cover somebody else's weakness. And in so doing, that person is being built up in that area. can see that I'm weak. I wasn't exposed. I wasn't humiliated. Rather, I was covered up and I was helped. They learn a lesson and they get better. And of course, I do all of this knowing that I myself, I am not perfect and I need help. And so as many people that can help me in spite of their weaknesses, I accept it, I help them, and let them help me. That's how a team works.
At what point did you now go into leadership?
Let me tell you that from the time I graduated, I'd always seen myself as a servant. So leadership is about service. If you want to be great in God's kingdom, the Bible says you must be the servant of them all. And so I started in NIA very early. As soon as I graduated doing my youth service, I'll be there at meetings, coordinating, being sent around, go and do this, go and do that. I did it happily. From there, they started seeing my zeal, maybe more than even my abilities, and they started giving me more responsibilities. Before I knew it, I became financial secretary at the Oyo State chapter, very young age. Before I knew it, I became, I think, the treasurer. Then I became the vice chair. And for the first time in Oyo State, for a female, I became the chapter chair. I was 40 years old when I became the chapter chair of Oyo. And so, of course, from there, people would say, you can do it. We want you to do it. The truth is, and I must confess, people seem to see more in me than I even see in myself. It's when I get into that position that I say, oh yeah, I actually can do it. And so it's been like that. It's been like that. And honestly, it's been by His grace. God has helped me. Nothing more in me than the grace and the mercy of God.
Wow. Was that why you titled your book
Grace-driven leadership? Absolutely. Because many times, and it still happens, I just look at myself. Is it me doing this? It can't be. I see a grace beyond my ability. I see challenges and I see God helping me through it. I see a strength and a boldness and I know it's beyond me. I see doors opening and I know I'm not the one opening it. It's grace and only by His grace.
Thank you, Ma. I would like us to talk about motherhood, family, and balance. You've touched on it a little. Many young architects, especially women, struggle to balance career growth with family life. How did you manage to stay grounded through motherhood and leadership?
Again, I'll say, go buy my book. Because there's a particular chapter, the juggling act. How did I juggle?
Sadly.
Well, I told you, to start with, I was focused. First few years, for my husband to be able to establish the home. For my children, to ensure that I gave them a good foundation. As a matter of fact, I didn't have my youngest child until 6 years after the second one. So there was a gap. So I had enough time to really take care of the first two. And I was a lecturer. I could choose my time much more than being in active practice. So having established the home, I decided, look, if you're going to be a career person, you must get help. Help in the area of your children, help in the area of taking care of your home so that none will suffer. It was clear in my mind that my first ministry was as a wife and as a mother before being a career woman. And I wasn't going to sacrifice it. And so I built up a good relationship with my husband and with my children. I made sure that I was able to get his trust and confidence so that it was actually him pushing me out. I remember I didn't do my exams, professional exams, till 7 years after my graduation. And even before my second child, my husband said, go and do your professional exams. I'm like, look, not now. I'm doing this. And I said, he said, no. You won't have a second child until you do your exams. I'm like, how is that a condition for having children? So he encouraged me. I was still a lecturer. In fact, I was pregnant by the time I did my professional exams. So to show you that you must build trust and confidence in home. I wasn't competing with him. And he had that confidence to say, look, you're managing the home, you're doing well, but you're also a career person. Follow your career. So women must learn not to be over aggressive so that you're able to build your husband's trust and then he can release you. It's so important. If I was too aggressive from the beginning, he may not have allowed me. I remember even in the early days of practice, I needed to travel a lot. Sometimes it would be almost like hands behind my back to say I need to travel. And I say, yes, now. Okay, what's going to happen to this and this and that? I'll say, I've taken care of it. And then he began to trust that, yes, I've taken care of this, so he could release me. But then, even at that, I made sure that all my journeys, all my traveling, home was priority. I wouldn't go away for long. It wasn't possible. No. So these are the ways I juggled until my children grew up and left the home before I started immersing myself totally, both in practice and in my leadership roles. That's it.
Thank you, Ma. So, what advice would you give to young female architects who fear that starting a family might slow down their career progress?
Oh, well, I will say, first of all, you're a woman, and if you want to start a family, it is priority. I didn't start early, but did I catch up? Yes. So don't let starting a family discourage you. You must know that if that is your ambition to start a family, you must not sacrifice it for your career. I tell people, you must not. Careers will come and go. I finished my tenure as president. If I neglected my home, would I have a home to return to? If I disrespected my husband as the president of the NIA, would I be able to face him when I go back? If I had disregarded my children, even throughout my tenure, I had holiday times. I shut down on NIA. I go for my holiday. Everyone deserves a holiday. My children had their own kids. I shut down. I went to take care of my children. Why do I have vice presidents? They take up the job when I'm not there. So you see, it's important for you to have your priorities right. A woman must know that her priority is her home, her family. That's it for me. Unless you're not a married woman, and not every woman needs to be married. If you decide from onset, I'm a career woman, fine, that's you. But I decided I wanted to have everything, have a family, have a home, and have a strong career, and have a leadership role. And God help me. It's only God wants you to put priorities right. And that takes me to your relationship with God. You haven't asked me, but it's so important. It's your relationship with God that helps you navigate all your roles properly. Thank you.
And can you have it all?
I'm a faith person. The Bible says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. He says, I have come to give you life and in abundance, not shortcuts. Why can't you have everything? You're serving a God who owns everything. He can give you everything. A happy home, a good career, and everything you need. Does it mean you won't have challenges? My dear, you didn't ask me.
I'm coming
Plenty
to
of challenges. But he can give you everything.
Thank you so much, Ma. I'm coming to the challenges part now. So I was going to say, because it's both on the leadership and your legacy, especially from your NIA journey.
Yeah.
What were your biggest goals, both from challenges and now to achievements, when you took office? And looking back, which of those dreams came to life?
One of the biggest goals I had was to bring architecture family together, to have a united front to be able to fight our battles as professionals. I saw architecture from the glory days to the downturn, and I wasn't happy. And I felt, God, if you give me an opportunity to lead, one of the things I'm going to do will be to restore the dignity, the glory, the visibility of architecture. And this is what I pursued. I made sure that NIA was taken out from the level of obscurity and infighting that didn't help us to have a good image. And I turned it around by the grace of God. I hope I did.
You actually did.
I hope I did. And so this was my focus and goal. That was number one. And that's why I started with the Unite agenda. Unity, non-negotiable integrity, total integration with allied professionals. You can't keep fighting people.
Yeah.
You fight yourself, you fight people outside. Everybody gets sick and tired of you. So total integration with allied professionals, empowerment of all cadres of architects in the NIA. And of course, the future is always so important to me. I love young people. I love young people. I work in church with children, with young people. I've always worked with young people. In the profession, I've seen that the future of any profession is in the young people. So when all people just continue to recycle themselves, it's a dying system. And I wanted to empower the young people. I started the Young Architects Forum for the first time in the history of the NIA. Put the young people on the table. Bring fresh ideas. Let's hear them. Let them turn around the place. And young people don't have too much time for all this, your quarrel and all this. They want to be vibrant and move on. And we needed that to diffuse all the tension. And so that is why I started that. Number two, our visibility. I wanted us to connect with government, policymakers. It got to a stage that we would have events. We could not even attract a commissioner or even a PAMSEC to come to our events. You know, we had some events like that, our AGMs. Nobody would come. But you saw what I did now.
Yes.
Governors will come. Past president will come. The only person I couldn't get to come was President Adeniyi. I hope you get to see this sometime. Well, we will still want you to be a part of us, recognize the architects in Nigeria. It's so important. And that was my goal. I went to ministers, I went to all top policymakers to let them know that you have architects in Nigeria who should be projecting our architecture, showcase our own brand of architecture, use our people. We know the problems. We can translate the cultural identity of our people through the spaces that we design. And that's what I've been doing. Those were my focus. And I think I did try. I think so.
What challenges did you face when you were trying to achieve this?
Well, the status quo. People who feel this is how we used to do it, they don't want to change it. But me, I like changes. And I know how to make changes. So that was a major challenge. And of course, you know the challenge between NI and ACON. Very strong one. I went there trying to make peace. I put out an olive branch. It was received. However, I would not be put in a compromised position. And that was where the challenge started. You can make friends without compromising your stand. I did not want to be in a compromised position that would affect my institute, and I would not be a lawbreaker. If this is what the law says, we must abide by the law. And so my major challenge was managing the relationship of NIA and ACON, particularly concerning examinations for our members to become licensed. But by the grace of God, we surmounted it and were able to do an exam, even with a difference. But the first time we did a virtual exam, even that, at first they resisted. We can't do it. I said, people are getting degrees online. Am I correct?
You're right.
So why can you not do an exam that gets you licensed online? So fighting that battle, we won. We were able to agree. We did that exam and we were able to register many architects. My only regret is after that, there was a bottleneck again and they did not allow me to do the other exam that I wanted to do during my tenure. But it doesn't matter. I'm still in the system. And guess what? That exam will hold.
Thank you so much, Ma. And thank God for the grace so far.
Mm.
So how would you describe the future you envision for Nigerian architecture and for the next generation of architects, especially as you mentioned, you love young architects?
It's a difficult terrain now. We must be honest with ourselves. Too many things fighting against the survival of architecture. Too many new things encroaching on our space. What had been jealously guarded in the past has been opened up and exposed, and AI is not helping you.
Exactly.
And so many other specialties that seem to want to be taking over architecture. But the beauty of it is architecture is creativity. And as long as man exists, man must have shelter. It's a basic necessity. And as civilizations grow, the shelter must be defined in a way that needs a creative mind. He may have tools to assist like AI and all other digital tools, but there must be a mind behind those. And the creative mind of the architect will always be relevant. And I'm so confident in the young people. You know how to do things and turn things around. I believe the future is bright. Because when there are challenges, there are opportunities. It's just an opportunity to do things in different ways. And I'm very confident that with the foundation that has been set, with the space that has been given, young architects can now begin to navigate and own their space. The future is bright.
Thank you, Ma. I would like us to talk about your book a little bit. You recently authored a book titled Grace Driven Leadership. What was the personal story or turning point that inspired you to write it? And why do you believe anyone, whether in architecture or not, should read this book at any stage of their journey?
Thank you very much. And honestly, I'm excited about this book. Grace Driven Leadership. It's interesting. The foreword is by Chief Olusegun Obasanjo,
Oh, wow.
former president of Nigeria. And the first endorsement is by Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the President African Development Bank Group, 2015 to 2025.
Wow.
Also, I have an endorsement from Architect Femi Majekodunmi, past President NIA, past President IUA, and also another immediate past President International Union of Architects, the first female Rear Admiral in Africa, has an endorsement here, and of course, my darling husband also endorsed the book. Now, grace-driven leadership is actually my stewardship of the Nigerian Institute of Architects. But like the questions you asked, it's almost like you were the one behind my writing my book. Because I chronicle this book to show my journey right from the beginning. How did I get here? Where did it start from? How did I navigate? So let me read the dedication to you.
With all ears.
My stewardship of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, grace-driven leadership, is dedicated to Almighty God, who endowed me with the strength, wisdom, and perseverance to lead with purpose and passion. His divine favor and guidance illuminated my path as the president of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, enabling me to serve with humility and dedication. This book is a testament to your grace, His grace, which empowered me to navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and inspire others. And so, why did I go on writing this book? I felt it was time for us to know that leaders are not always born leaders. From this book, you will see that maybe when I was a child, you may not have imagined I would become the president of the NIA.
Right.
My classmates in architecture school will tell you that when we were in studio, if they said who will be president of the NIA, they will not turn to me. So can leadership be developed? Yes. There's a leader in everybody that is waiting to be discovered. So the leadership in me was nurtured even from my childhood. And I'm writing this book so that parents know the role they need to play in bringing out leadership in their children. I'm writing this book because I need women to know that you can challenge the status quo. The fact that you're a woman does not mean you cannot lead. And the fact that you're leading does not mean you drop your femininity. You can still be a woman, a wife, a mother, and a leader. It has to be driven by grace. You need to read this book. It's for both men to see how they can help their wives and not be intimidated. How they can also bask in the glory that the wife brings to the home. And how if a woman is prospering, her husband can prosper more. It's in the book. My victory is my husband's victory. His victory is mine. How we did it is in the book. As a leader, how do you go through challenges that seem to want to swamp you? I went through challenges. It's in the book. This book is for everybody. Children, how do you even aspire to become leaders? As a child, where did it start from? It's in the book. I remember when I was in primary school, very interesting. I would think to myself, I went to a boarding school, although it was my aunt's school. But I thought, look, let's come together. If we're not happy about some things, how can we let authorities know? Can you imagine a young child?
Wow.
I will call them together, we'll do meetings.
Wow.
Tell me what came out of the meetings, nothing. But it gave me satisfaction to know that I could have a collective force, that we could have a strong voice
Yes.
to either challenge or cancel. That was from childhood. So you can get this. It's written in this book. My carefree years when I didn't even think about anything. It's in the book. To tell you a life can be complete and doesn't have to be stereotyped. You can learn from this book. Honestly, young people, you learn a lot from this book. Old people, you learn a lot from this book. It's a book for all seasons and a book for all people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. You've already heard it. The book is all encompassing. Both parenting, young people, old people, get the book. Ma, please, where can we get your book?
I think it's still on sale. I have a sales team around, but apart from that, there's a link, and I'll share the link with you,
Okay.
so you can actually buy it online, and there you can then tell them how you want the book to be delivered to you, and it will be delivered to you. So,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have some rapid fire questions for you. What was your best course in school?
in uni,
Yes.
design.
Okay. What's your favorite food that brings back childhood memories?
You know, talking about my favorite food doesn't sound sophisticated. I'm sorry. Amala, ewedu, and gbegiri. Let me tell you a story. When my kids were young, and then one of them in school, they said, "What is your mom's favorite food?" And he said, "Amala and ewedu." I said, you should have touched me up a bit. But truly, that's my favorite food.
What's the most exciting experience you had in school, in architecture school?
I loved being in studio. We would have fun. We would dance. I was a jazz queen. I was in jazz club. I was a socialite. I enjoyed partying.
Wow.
I enjoyed school. So the best time for me was just being with my friends, hanging out with my friends. That was it.
And which architect inspired you the most?
When I was in school,
Yeah.
I think that I liked Frank Lloyd Wright. Nature, sustainability. His buildings just seemed to flow with the environment. And that was it for me. If you see my home, you would think it was just, luckily it's on a slope. It's just built out of the slope. I love creating buildings that flow with the environment. Frank Lloyd Wright was it for me.
Thank you, ma. And then to wrap up this session, I would ask, what's your final, or what message would you leave for young architects, especially from your journey through architecture, motherhood, career? It's all summed up. What lessons would you give to the young architects?
Young architects, the only young ones. I was a young architect. Make good use of your youth. Enjoy your youth. Have a focus. Don't let go. Challenges will come. They will come. Whether you're young, middle-aged, or old, there are always challenges in life. But just know that you have in you a capacity to overcome the challenges. I don't like to see the way young people now just get broken so easily. In my days, I can't imagine what a young person will go and commit suicide for. What on earth for? Please, young people, pick up yourselves. Strengthen yourselves. There's too much in you. You have more than we had. You have technology at your fingertips. You have so much going for you. And beyond that, you have a future. I'm growing old now. I have fewer years. You have age on your side. Make the best of your youth. Look into the future and see a bright future. Look into yourself and see a strength that can surmount the challenges. Never give up. Thank you. You know what I say to young people? I'm looking forward to seeing you up there. That's where you deserve to be. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much, ma.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma.
Bye-bye. I hope I answered you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.